good day to you and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Cabrera. It's a joy, it's an honor, it's a privilege to have you every single week for these conversations. Conversations we hope will help our political leaders in making better policy decisions and informed political moves. I'm here with Prof. Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you doing today?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Straight out Hot 96.
Hot 96.
Were they hot in you?
Hey, it was very hot, yes.
Conversation is about Rigathi Gachagua. We had this one yesterday, and today we're also talking about Usiguse Murima. Yeah. But some people are saying, look, they are diverting us from the real issues. Could this be the case that we have forgotten about Adani, forgotten about corruption?
That's what I read on social media. Many people are saying that. I read this was from what his name is?
Morara.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite possible. Politicians are animals. Bring this Gachagua business and everybody forgets about Adani. By the time we are through with Gachagua, the Adani people are already with the airport. It's possible.
They can strategize all this for the sake
now
of...
Now that I hear Adani is everywhere, it's not just the airport, it's with electricity, Ketraco, they are with I don't know where, everywhere, they're everywhere. Yeah.
But talk to me about the possibility of this being true, that actually these guys are on the verge of divorcing.
It's possible.
Do they have the numbers of actually impeaching Gachagua?
Initially, I thought no, but now, knowing how Kenyan MPs behave, I think some people can go on a suicide mission and impeach him.
Behaving based on what?
You know, they have told us they are given little money. Now, this may not be little, this may be more. I mean, we have heard from MPs, we are not saying it. They are bought with as little as 10,000. So supposing somebody put aside some 2 million or 3 million or 5. Even during the impeachment, they said, somebody said it was 2 million. Was it coming from Raila or from MPs?
From MPs. So something interesting
supposing
about...
Supposing it is the game was upped. Somebody sets aside some 5 million for the stubborn ones. Others 1 million, 2 million. Stubborn ones 5. Most difficult 10, 8.
Over 230 MPs.
What is that? You already have those you don't need to bother with. And it depends on who is doing it. So yes, the numbers can be manufactured.
Said something about suicide if you impeach Gachagua.
There are some people who will impeach him, but they will be on a suicide mission. If you come from Mount Kenya, especially Mount Kenya West, you are a Kikuyu and you vote to impeach Gachagua, surely. That's the end of your political career. It's obvious. End of your political career. But there are people who, because of the inducement, they may not mind.
But why wouldn't someone mind? What is this that Ruto has on them that you can just give up your political career?
Let me tell you, I've interacted with politicians. And I can tell you here and now that when you hear these politicians are being bought, some of them are given very little money. Money that is not even enough for me for 1 week. Just my own expenditure. And I'm not a rich man. The people who defected in the famous defections of 1992, after 1992 elections, in 1993, most of them died miserable, poor fellows. Miserable, poor. The first defectees, if you wish, when Kanu faced its first opposition in 1992. And Ford Asili and Ford Kenya and DP won a sizable number of seats in Kenya. There was a wave of defections. Western Kenya took the prize of shame. And these people, and some of them were known to me, they were basically poor. I have seen MPs, when they are voting for speaker, something like that. I've been with an MP when he was brought 300,000. If he's hearing, he knows me. And I can even say where we were. We were the hood. We were how many? There were how many MPs? 1, 2. 2 MPs. One of them took 300. The other one told them, go to hell. Speaker
of the National Assembly?
Yeah, in the election of Speaker of 2013. Yeah, anybody can challenge me.
They're just taking 300,000.
So what is 300,000?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a rich man, but for me to do something like that, if I must be bought, it must be something. Hata machine nikisimamisha hapo nje ni kitu ya maana.
So you're saying
hata nikiona hiyo machine haibu na at least inapotea kidogo. But 300,000 I'll just eat the same day.
So if this impeachment motion is brought before the floor,
it can go through.
It can go through
because of the way MPs vote.
But what are the consequences now of impeaching Rigathi? Of course, we know if he's impeached, he might not be able to run. This is according to our constitution. What are the consequences if Gachagua is impeached?
Okay, top on the list that he may not run again for any office unless he goes to court. This current senator of Kiambu, he was able to run despite the impeachment earlier on. So people can wriggle around it. That's the first consequence. The second one is those politicians coming from Mount Kenya who vote to impeach Gachagua, they will all disappear from the political map of this country. But the next one is Ruto will suffer and pay for it. Because he will lose the mountain forever. For good, and all of it. And I've always said this. The collective anger of Mount Kenya can sweep anybody off their feet. Anybody. The Luo get annoyed. They make a lot of noise. They have a lot of political weight. But they lack the numbers the Mount Kenya people have. So if you get people as populous and as organized, well endowed, with a rich history, controlling the economic pulse of the nation, and you antagonize them to the point the community is angry, I sympathize with you. I feel for you. You could pay for it.
For Rigathi, Gachagua says, if there is a promise you should keep, Mr. President, is this one of not betraying me.
Because it doesn't cost you anything, he says.
Yes, even if you don't do development, maendeleo, he said. But for this one, don't try it. If you listen to Gachagua, is this what you mean, kama mbaya mbaya moving
yes,
forward?
Yes, kama mbaya mbaya. Kufa dereva, kufa makanga. Kime umana.
But how can it umana? Because it's also a different conversation. There's one thing to impeach Gachagua and for him to threaten, but Ruto believes he has Azimio moving forward.
But what is Azimio? It's wrong. I've said this repeatedly. And it's a very simple thing. The Luo and the Luya have a lot of political noise. Wherever there's a trade union, you'll find them. In kweli kabisa.
Yeah.
It has been like that from the days of Gina Lubembe, Gina JJ Mugala, and all those.
Even now we have a Tuli.
And, you know, there was Dennis Yakumu, Tom Boyer. Trade union movement is, whenever there are even SACCO elections, they will find the Kisi, Luya, Luo. But at the national level, they don't have the ability to organize properly. Even the Luos, beyond the political activism and noise, look, Raila's best chance was last election. Everybody knew Raila was winning. Out of 2.1 registered Luo votes, Migori, Kisumu, Siaya, Homa Bay, 2.1 million registered vote, only 1.4 million voted. 700,000 didn't vote. Ruto beat Raila with 200,000, 220 about. If half of the Luos who didn't vote voted, Raila would have beaten, even if there were shenanigans or games. And the Luyas are the second most populous community. And it's been argued from some quarters. They are actually the most populous community in this country. Let's just keep them at the second. Does that get reflected in the numbers when it comes to election?
No.
Do they register in numbers to show you that they are the most populous people? Look at Kakamega, the second most populated county. Then look at Kiambu, the most. Look at the difference in terms of registration of voters. Look at the difference. So, in other words, the point I'm trying to make, the Luya and the Lu are not serious voters. So you cannot discard the serious Mount Kenya voter for the shaky and reliable Western Kenya voter. Hiyo hesabu unapiga vibaya. So why would Ruto do that? He must know something that I don't know.
And that's the question.
Kama ni hesabu tu kwa meza, it doesn't add up.
Where will this region go, Mount Kenya? If I ask you to predict, you always compare Mount Kenya with the swing states of America. Where do you think they will go now? Will they stay with Gachagua? Of course, they don't have enough votes to make Gachagua president. Where will the region go if kimeumana, as you put it?
You know, the Mount Kenya have very serious votes. And that's why I tell people, give credit to Raila Odinga. Because Raila brings some few miserable votes from his place. And when he puts there 1 million or so Luo votes are there, the Gema people, if it's Mike Kibaki or Uhuru Kenyatta, anaweka milioni kadhaa. Let us now walk. If Raila is able to move from this 1 or so million to catch up with the millions that Kibaki starts with or Uhuru, and in many instances we believe bypass them, overtake them, fear Raila. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, you try and ignore Mount Kenya votes. A serious Mount Kenya candidate will be number 1 on the ballot. He may not, what he will lack is the 50%, but he will win, especially with the collective anger they have now, which Ruto is helping to build. They will be number 1. What I do not know is who will be number 2 and who will be number 3, because they will be number 1, 2, 3, and even 4 this time round. I cannot guarantee that Ruto will be number 2. He could be number 3. And therefore, this Kikuyu candidate will go to run off with number 2, who is not Ruto.
Are we seeing a scenario of Kalonzo Musyoka uniting with Rigathi Gachagua?
It looks the most likely. But it's also the possibility of Raila uniting with the Kikuyus through Uhuru Kenyatta and Gachagua, who are now working together. That will be a nightmare to Ruto. So whichever way I look at this game is not in favor of Ruto. It doesn't favor him. Because you can't replace steady votes from Mount Kenya with shaky votes from the Western Kenya. You can't.
And so we are left remaining. Why the self-destruction?
Yes, it's self-destruction. Ruto seems to be on a self-destruct mode. I do not understand. There must be something surely he knows we don't know. But if he's relying on Raila, Raila himself can run against him.
You said that yesterday.
Yeah.
Atoka Ethiopia.
Yeah, kutoka Ethiopia asema hii kitu hii. Ruto amekosana na Wakikuyu sasa. He's alone. Let me get this thing. He can run against it.
What a place to wrap up. That's conversation about Rigathi Gachagua, William Ruto, Raila Odinga. What do you think? Are they distracting us from the real issues? And can Gachagua actually become president of this country? Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.